Hey, I'm Rachel and welcome back to Auxhart Gardening. Today I am planting out a lot of my fall roots and other vegetables, and I wanted to take you guys along with me so that you can see my process, because obviously my garden is still very full with some of my summer crops. So we are reaching the end of tomato season, but the peppers still have a little bit longer. And while we are reaching the end of tomato season, I still think I could get a couple of good weeks out of these tomatoes before they really just succumb to disease. So what I'm doing today is I'm actually going to be interplanting in between some of my seeds for my root vegetables, and I'm also planning on planting some pre-started root vegetables. So if any of you guys have ever seen Charles Dowding, he likes to use this method called multisowing. And basically what he does is he starts seeds in a tray and will plant like 3 or 4 seeds in each cell with the intention of not thinning them. And so when he goes to plant them out, he gives each bundle a little bit more space. But overall, what it comes out to is more plants per area. So I'm going to be trying a little bit of that. I have some things, like I said, that I've started. Some of them currently look like this. So I don't really think these are plantable. But I do have some turnips and some radishes that look all right to plant out. These are my rutabagas. And unfortunately, when I set them outside, some little hungry caterpillars got to them. But the basic idea is I'm going to do a combination of Charles Dowding's method, and I'm going to try Charles Dowding's method but from seed in the garden, and then I'm going to do carrots kind of the normal way, with seeding them and thinning to the appropriate spacing. So first things first, I'm going to just do a little bit of pruning on the tomatoes that I've got here and cut back a lot of the stuff that just doesn't need to be around anymore, and then we will get to some planting. Alright, so you'll notice I'm picking a lot of just like barely blushing tomatoes, and that is because my tomato plants do have quite a bit of disease on them, and I want to get these inside ASAP so that I have as healthy of tomatoes as possible. So I've pulled back the mulch here, and I'm going to start out with my turnip seedlings. So a lot of that was pretty haphazard. I've never done this before. I should clarify that all of this, the interplanting and the multi-sowing, is all a big experiment. for me. And hopefully you guys get to benefit from this experience to experiment too by just seeing how it goes for me. But right now we're gonna move over to my other bed and do a few more carrots and the last bit of my radishes. Oh, actually, I lied. There's one more thing I wanted to mention to you. You might be asking, Rachel, what are you gonna do with all the empty space when those plants are actually moved and dead and out of there? And my plan is to kind of succession sow those spaces with things that take a little less time, particularly quick varieties of radish and carrots that will overwinter. So that's the plan with all of that. Alrighty, so I'm gonna put in the rest of my radishes and a few rows of carrots, and you can see I've got spaghetti squash here and a couple of new zucchinis coming up behind me. Maybe you can see. But basically, yeah, that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna see how this all works out. Alright, so in this particular bed, I do eventually plan to have all of my onions and garlic. And I'm playing it pretty close on the timings here by putting carrots here. Mostly because the garlic needs to go in around the end of October, right before the first hard freeze, supposedly in early November. And I'm probably going to put onions in at about the same time. And carrots are going to need somewhere between 60 and 80 days depending on the variety. So I should be good on the carrots here, but we'll see. I might end up harvesting a lot of tiny carrots to make room for my garlic and onions. But hopefully it works out. That's basically all I have for you guys today. I hope that my mistakes and or successes help you out, so please do subscribe so you can follow along. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I wish you happy gardening.